Well, good evening. Welcome everybody here. We're going to get this meeting started, so we'll stand and I'll say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we have 3 public hearings, and we're going to get started. Dan's going to read the first one, so we'll do the first public hearing of the preliminary budget. Dan, would you read the?
Yeah, sorry, I misunderstood your question.
Yep.
Legal notice, Town of Homer, notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the preliminary budget of the Town of Homer for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2026 has been completed and filed in the office of the Town Clerk in the Town of Homer, 31 North Main Street, Homer, New York, 13077, where it is available for inspection by any interested person during regular office hours. The Town Board of the Town of Homer will hold a public hearing on said preliminary budget on November 12th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the public can be heard. At such hearing, any person may be heard in favor of or against, or for comment on the preliminary budget, or for or against, or comment on any item or items therein contained. The following are the proposed fiscal year 2026 salaries of the town officers of the Town of Homer. Town Supervisor, $8,000. Town Board, 4 members, $5,000 each. Town Justice, $30,600. Highway Supervisor, $66,000. Town Clerk, Town of Homer.
Okay, so that's open to public comment. Anyone like to speak on the preliminary? Yeah, preliminary. I can't say tonight. The budget.
There you go.
Tongue tied. Okay, we'll close that hearing then, and we'll move on to the public hearing. Local law would be local law number 3, renewable energy moratorium.
Town of Homer, public notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Homer will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025, beginning at 6:30 p.m. or soon thereafter at the Homer Town Hall, 31 North Main Street, Homer, New York, to consider the following local laws. Local law number 3, 2025, a local law to enact a temporary moratorium on the review and approval of applications for major solar energy systems and other commercial alternative energy development within the Town of Homer. At the time and place of said hearing, all interested persons will be heard in favor of or against the proposed local law or any part thereof. Comments may also be submitted in writing in advance of the meeting by submission to the Town Clerk. Copies of the proposed local law is available for inspection at the office of the Town Clerk, 31 North Main Street, Homer, New York, during regular business hours by order of the Town Board, Town Clerk, Town of Homer. And this is actually a continuation of, we held this hearing last month. We got a response from the county, so we kept it open from last month, but we republished notice.
You want to comment on what the county said?
Yeah, what did they say? They wanted us to clarify, better clarify what solar installations would be covered by the law. So we clarified that it does cover major solar installations as defined in the Homer Town zoning. We did talk about that at the last meeting as well. And they wanted us to focus, because our intent was to cover solar, they wanted us to cover just solar, not other alternative energy. If we wanted to do that, they wanted separate laws for each. So we took out the other forms of alternative energy.
Okay, open to the public. Any comments on the moratorium? Yes, Victor.
So nowadays, my life has changed. Rather than making things up, I look things up on artificial intelligence. And it's unbelievable what I've learned. If you have any questions about anything, email them to me. I'll come back to you with a 10-page essay, free of charge. So here is...
We only got an hour for this meeting.
I know, it's going to be a couple minutes.
Okay.
Here for everybody is, go ahead, pass it around, all the things that you need to do during a moratorium. The best thing about artificial intelligence is how complete it is. It thinks of stuff you didn't think of. So just pass that on to the people actually doing the writing. Now I just want to talk a little about the state we're in. I'm completely in favor of the moratorium. And first, basically, except for wood-heated homes, which are about 6% of Cortland County. I don't know if they are in Town of Homer, probably higher. All our energy comes from the outside. We are completely dependent on the mercy of strangers to supply our energy. Not a strong position to be in. So after studying this stuff for now 15 years, there's really only one answer. Solar is the answer, and you can pass that around and I'll talk about it. On the right, it shows our non-renewable resources, like petroleum, like coal, etc., and they are this big. On the left, it shows renewable, but the sun is so much more than everything else. This stuff's running out. May not run out in our lifetimes, but our kids and grandchildren are going to have problems. We have to go to solar. We have a big advantage that we have land here that's unused. I'm not in favor of forests being cut down. I'm not in favor of prime farmland being used, but there's lots of other land. So I've been studying just where we stand. Right now, 70% of our natural gas comes from Pennsylvania. Half of our homes are heated by natural gas and businesses. 30% comes from something I never heard of, called the New York Trenton Black River. And those are wells drilled before 2014 when they shut off the thing. They're in Chemung, Steuben, and Schuyler County. I had no idea. But because gas wells run out, because you can't drill anymore, they're going just straight down by this. By 2050, 2055, there's nothing. Then all our gas comes from the outside. I hate being dependent on strangers. So we have to start thinking about solar. This is the time to think about all the ramifications. The big thing is, and I haven't heard anything new recently, is AES. So AES took over the Homer Solar Project from EDF, which took it over from TCI, so you could just play alphabet games.
And they're being taken over.
AES is being taken over? Makes sense. So I got a few questions, and I called Melanie, but I didn't get her. Will our solar moratorium affect their schedule? No? Will not? Okay, just curious. How much, this is a trick question, how much of the generated electricity, if any, will end up in the distribution grids that serve Cortland County? My guess is zero. They all go right into the transmission grid, up, over, and eventually down to where the people live. So what we're doing is giving up, essentially, they've already leased 2,000 acres of our land, which equals 1,500 football fields, a large part in Homer. And if you walk a football field, you know how big one is. 1,500 is overwhelming. Then the state screwed up the taxation, as you're well aware, and they passed a law which gave measly taxes but worked fairly for everybody. The law was declared unconstitutional. So now you can tax them anything you want. And I suggest, I'm going to talk to Melanie about this, that we tax them just as if it were a regular industry coming in. There's no reason to give them a bargain because they're taking our land and they're sending all the energy away and they have no jobs. So you'll be hearing more from me about that over time. So
that one we need to hear more about because
I thought we couldn't.
we can't. We were told we can't. We can only tax 10%. That's a $230 million project. We can only tax them for $23 million.
Okay, nope. That's the state law that they came out with a couple of years ago. But that state law is unconstitutional, and I'm surprising that they have not replaced it. So they recommend you do it. And if it weren't the situation we're in, I'd recommend we do it. But now you can tax them for more. Should be net present value, but I think the net present value is higher than their number. So we need Brian, we need Melanie, and I'll be talking to them about it and then talk to you. Okay? But moratorium now.
We got another proposal coming later, but okay, I'll let you continue.
Good. I'm all done.
Okay.
Quick tonight.
That's way quicker than normal.
We can talk later too.
Okay.
No, it was good to hear that. That really opens up the door. It's true. Anybody else from the want to speak on the renewable? Yeah.
So, tell me if I'm wrong. I understand, in case you hadn't heard, I had campaigned for town board. I talked to a lot of people. I didn't talk to a single person who liked solar farms, myself included. My question about this moratorium is, like you just said though, it doesn't stop the big solar farms. It stops community solar, which is one way that people who live here can actually save a little bit off of their utility bills by signing up for one of these programs. I'm told it's like 10%, which to me is kind of, personally, I feel like that's kind of a joke. Like, if they're not paying for the sunlight, it should be more than that. But I feel like this moratorium it's more of a statement than it is actually, it's not going to stop people from cutting down 100 acres of trees and putting up a solar farm, right?
So there's three different scenarios here. So you have the large one, the one at ASE or AES, the one that's going up that leases 2,100 acres. That is of a certain megawatt that the state supersedes any and all town
Right.
zoning and stuff. So we don't have a lot of say in that.
Right?
We do, what's that?
25 megawatt, I think is the
I think it's
limit.
20.
20, okay.
Is that
90.
90? Okay, so I'm way off, sorry.
I don't know, he's asking about the cutoff.
The cutoff.
Oh, yeah, over 20, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So we don't have a lot of say in that. But what we're trying to do, we do have some say in how to get host agreement and certain conditions with farmland and stuff. So that's what we're really looking at. There's a small one going in for up to Raleigh Farbers up here, and they call that, what was the name of that one?
That's Houghton Hill, it's Seaboard Solar.
Seaboard Solar.
Yeah.
That's gonna go. Anything that's already in the works, we're not stopping it. But that really what brought it up because they're using good farmland. So we wanna change our laws so that we're not using prime farmland. We're not saying we're negative solar, but we wanna make sure we're protecting our farmlands. Certain restrictions, we're really pushing with the county. Hopefully they're gonna start getting more battery storage to level out the flow, because right now, it's only when the sun shines, that's the only way solar is good.
Sure, but to be fair, that's when the demand is the highest.
Right, and we're having a lot of electrical spikes through the power system. It's really affecting our farms. Sarah had really brought that to our attention on how it's affecting the farms and stuff. With Mike McMahon and our planning committee, they recommended that this would be great to get this slowed down. The county's working on a county-wide plan, and we're hoping we're all gonna be the same in the county. But if not, our planning board's working on it, because I don't know what's going on with the county right now. They lost some planning board members. But we wanna protect our farmland and just look out for the town of Homer as far as battery storage and make it more viable. We're not looking to stop if you wanna put it on your house, we're not interfering with that. So any homeowner can still move forward with it.
And I don't think this affects the community solar program, because that's been around for a while already.
Right.
Anybody can sign up for that now, so that's not gonna stop residents from signing up for that on your electric bill.
But I'm told, okay, I know in Tompkins County that the community solar is basically sold out. So they can't sell any more community solar unless they do more of these smaller farms that support it. I don't know if that's the case here.
I'm not sure on that, I can't give you a good answer on that. But once again, we're looking at this 6 months so we can get our laws better, and then if people wanna put them in,
Yeah.
we're not gonna stop it. As a matter of fact, I've gonna have a call here with another solar company wants to come up and meet with the town of Homer and just see what the potential is for them to do some solar farms. So that'll be a meeting that I haven't set up yet, they just reached out to me. So there is still interest, and we're not, and they wanna know, were we negative? I said, no, we're not negative. We're just putting a moratorium on so we can get a better handle on things.
Okay.
So once again,
A few quick comments. First, community solar. Although community solar is cheaper because it's built on a big field rather than on your house with lots of supports, they charge you the regular price minus 10%, okay? But when you do the taxes, the state lets them take the 10% off the taxes. So basically, it's just billing everybody for your solar. So sadly, it's a fraud.
No way.
Second, battery storage. I'm sure you know this from the horror stories people say. Run, don't walk from lithium-ion battery storage because you cannot put the fires out. But there's good things coming, just like EVs and cars going to solid state. By 2028, there are new kinds of battery storage that will work for 100 hours And so you can build up your energy, and if you get snow for a couple days or some reason it's dark for 48 straight hours, you don't lose anything. You can then essentially disconnect yourself from the grid, still be connected for emergencies, but Homer could be self-sustaining. And sadly, Homer could be self-sustaining with the exact amount of electricity that we're shipping out through AES. So I haven't given up hope on that yet, because it's such a good deal. But this is kind of a long-term thing. You know, those good solar batteries come in 2028, 2030. Just be patient about them. No one here wants to put in lithium ion, I'm sure. Right?
I think that's what Mike McMahon was saying too.
What's that?
Mike McMahon had given some information about that they talked that there's newer, better batteries that are coming.
Right, and I was just
I
gonna
don't
say
think that
that
is
part of, we're very fortunate because we have Intertech testing laboratories here.
Mhm.
They are part of, they're working with our county planning board, and they're working on those cutting edge batteries.
Yep.
So that's what we're looking at, stuff like that, and I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying.
We'll make a world
But at the
of
same
difference.
time, we're gonna rely on our planning board, and we're gonna rely on the county planning board to help structure. And if 6 months isn't long enough, we may have to extend it. I don't know. I'm not predicting that.
Yes.
I just wanna make sure that we have a good handle on things for the town of Homer. Mike, did you have any more?
No, I'll go on the record saying I'm not pro 1,000-acre solar farm.
Nope.
Right.
Understand that. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of say.
I know, that's kind of that's the clarification I'm looking for.
It irritates me and it irritates everybody else because they just took away all home rule. We've struggled with this for years, and you know, the state comes in and you know, you have to be 15 feet away from your boundary lines. They can be 5 feet away from the boundary lines, just because the state overrode everything that we do. But that's every community. That they didn't pick on Homer; they picked on all of New York State. So understand. Any other comments on that? Yes.
How long can you extend moratoriums?
12 months.
One
That's it.
full cycle.
So that's it.
That's it.
So you can't push it till 2028.
No.
And I'm not saying we want to do that. We'll go along and see where our planning board in the county comes to, and then with our planning board next year, we'll see if there's somebody that's interested in working with the planning board from this point too. But it's going to be very important for our future, you know, all of this. So, any other comments on that? Okay, that hearing is closed. So we're going to have another public hearing for Spectrum.
Notice of public hearing for the approval of the cable television agreement between Spectrum Northeast LLC and the town of Homer. Please take notice that the town of Homer will hold a public hearing on November 12th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. at the Homer Town Hall located in Homer, New York regarding granting a cable television franchise agreement by and between the town of Homer and Spectrum Northeast LLC, an indirect subsidiary of Charter Communications. A copy of the agreement is available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Homer Town Clerk's Office, 31 North Main Street, Homer, New York. At such public hearing, all persons will be given an opportunity to be heard. Written and oral statements will be taken at that time. Time limitations may be imposed for each oral statement if necessary, by order of the town board and town of Homer.
Okay, any comments on the Spectrum franchise? Don't imagine anybody would have. So if you hang around long enough, we're gonna get into a discussion on that a little bit later. So we've got some information. Kevin's been looking into it for me. And so we'll get into that down the line. So if there's no other comments on that, we're gonna close the public hearings. And then we're gonna open our regular meeting now. I wanna do our minutes, last month's October minutes. So I need a approval and vote on it.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as is.
A second.
Second it? Any comments? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, who has the general bills?
I did the general bills.
Sarah?
We had vouchers number 319 to 365. It was a little larger than normal, mostly because of construction payments. There was two construction payments. One was $60,800. Another was $15,200. Other than that, it was pretty much normal monthly bills.
There's 4 construction bills in there, two
Four.
small
Two
ones.
small, yeah, there's 2 small ones, yeah,
Two
you're
small
right,
ones. There
okay.
was a total of 4 for this one.
So, other than that, normal bills. So, I'd like to make a motion that we pay vouchers 319 through 365 for $100,204.55.
Second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Highway bills, Barry?
I audited the highway bills, vouchers 139 through 174. Quite a bit of money has been spent with Cargill Salt Division, loading up our salt for the season. And so that came to, somewhere around $80,000 for that. But, we've got a total of $174,776 and 58 cents. I'll move they be accepted and paid.
Give a second?
Second.
Second, Sarah, second it. Any other comments or discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Our monthly reports, we need to receive and file, so we've got the chiefs, the clerks, the code, the dog, highway. My supervisor's report is not done, I apologize, but Colin does the backup and checks everything, and he's been sick, so we'll have 2 for next month. But that's my, checks and balance, having him check everything for us.
I'll make a motion that we accept the monthly reports, chief's report, Homer Fire Chief's report, town clerk report, code officer report, dog control. I'm going to accept the highway report before we hear from the highway guy, but we'll do that. And minus the supervisor report. I'll make a motion to accept those, receive and file.
I'll second that.
Second, any other discussion on that? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're coming to the privilege of the floor. Any comments from anyone on the floor? Pat, you have any?
Couple hours ago, I was just notified that the county is looking to raise the tipping fees from $90 to $105 per ton. Doesn't affect you all so much as the residents, but it does affect the village and the municipalities that have to have their budgets in before the end of the year. This is gonna be a significant, it's a 16.6% increase. I know the county is doing their budget meeting tomorrow. I plan on attending that, but,
So I was going to ask tonight on record, what is Cortland County doing to rectify the situation that they've caused for all the other townships? Is this their answer?
no, because I believe this is just for the landfill. The landfill has to open a new cell. They have to put aside money for closing cells, and they need equipment for it. But I don't want to speak for them because I don't have the answers. I am just relaying information that was given to me recently, and I plan on attending tomorrow to find out why. You know,
Notice none of our legislators showed up.
well, and I didn't hear from one of our legislators. I called one of them and I got it confirmed by them, so it's open. But the fact that I didn't get a call, you didn't get a call, I'm not happy. So I don't like to be bearers of bad news, but you know, bad news doesn't get better with age.
So we took an average of about, 24,000 tons a year on average? I can't remember going way back. So they're gonna just raise another 345,000 just on the landfill.
And flow control, essentially, they have a monopoly. So
That's
they
gonna be
can-
less than 1%.
They can raise whatever they want.
All right. Thank you for that news, Mr. Mayor.
Any good news for us?
You might not be invited next month.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. In reality, I mean, it does affect the village budget. We don't have trash pickup. They do handle trash, but it affects everyone in our town, every one of them. Because everybody has to pay. The downside of when they raise it is more trash on the side of the roads. So anyways, anyone else like to speak on our privilege of the floor? Okay, I'm gonna move on from there. Highway Superintendent Kyle.
Since our last meeting, the salt, that's a good spot to start. We're going with a hotter, a saltier mix. And we've ordered enough, it depends on the year, but we've ordered enough. We have extra. We also will use less with a hotter mix. Plus we have extra stockpiled. So that $80,000 number, it might be $40,000 a year is what we're thinking. So we just have some extra. The 2 days that we've plowed, way better. The roads are burning off better. Hopefully residents will be safer. We're using less sand or aggregate in with the sand, so you'll still get your traction, but you won't have a mess. So, but we've got and we also mix it, we have a company come in and mix it with a organic brine to make it hotter, and they stack it and mix it. And so that's all done. And we've got all our plow trucks geared up. All the plows are adjusted and inspected, and it takes a while to put all this stuff on. And I'm there with the guys every day, making sure that the stuff's put together right, and they're doing a good job. The facility, we're moving in and organizing stuff into the new facility. We're much nicer, got more room, much nicer and safer to work with. So we really appreciate the help on that and the support on that. That's real nice. After we got all these trucks, you're in salt all the time, so these things get tore up by the salt, and so we've tried to figure out how can we undercoat these trucks, or what can we do to battle with we found a company that it's called Crown with a K, and then we put this undercoating. It's a film, so this is our second year doing it. Basically stops the rust. We put it on with a sprayer, and say I'm right there, making sure the guys do it and coat them, and so it's coming together. Things are starting to come together over there. So they say cleaning, organizing, things are safer. The guys are all showing up on time, working hard, and then.
And you just brought back your 2 winter homes.
Yeah, we just brought back our 2 plow drivers. We have 60 mile of road that we maintain, and nothing against Cortlandville does a great job, but they have 12 more miles of road. I just found this out in our pest training. They have 18 highway employees. We have 6. They only have a little bit more road than we do, so they do a great job, and there's things that I don't know.
Nothing to do with Caleb, he's down at home where he
Don't.
We can't help it, Cortlandville doesn't run a fishing operation.
Their roads are beautiful.
Get your dad on the phone.
They do a great job, so we're looking to with the whole salt thing there, we're trying, it's really not gonna cost us much more in the end. It'll be a way better, safer product. Of course, we did some other work on the facilities. We built some tool rooms and shelving, and but as far as our road work and stuff, we've done some blacktop patchwork, drag box. We see that on the road. It's not the greatest looking, but it's to get us to the springtime. It's like patches. So that's just to get us through that. It functions well, but working on some signage, ditch work on various roads, shoulder work on various roads. We got a lot more of that to do. That'll be never ending. We did our pest training. That's twice a year. Covers everything from sexual harassment to workplace safety, everything you can think of, electrical, traffic, signage, in-house. And we got our salt and sand mix. And we rented a boom mower, finally. We got a lot. The boom mower's 4 feet wide. We got 120 miles to do, so it's gonna take a little bit of time, but we're getting, guys been working overtime on it, and it's really starting to look good.
Kyle, explain that one a little more, because when you're saying boom mower, so you're not mowing the grass, you are,
Yeah, so a boom mower, right, the flat mower that we're getting mows the sides of the road, the grass. The boom mower is on a boom, mows the vegetation. Basically your brush and your branches, gets the stuff, it's just never ending growing in. So it's a very cost effective way to, you can do the whole town in a month and a half for a rental of $8,000, and then whatever you pay your employee. So we take 100 men to do the same job. So it's a very, very good piece of equipment. We rent that, and but that's totally different from the flail mower that we're getting. But you can do.
and they've been running that 6 days a week, and they're,
I've been running it on the week on Sunday.
okay, so 7 days a week, just to get it done, yeah.
To get to use our hours up, because we're plowing, we're switch our hours. You know, we're getting up, I got up 2:30 this morning, so we're which whatever. We
Want some of my coffee?
yeah, I had a run bowl before I got this.
Oh, you still-
As soon as you get done, you can go home, and go to bed.
Having a problem talking with it.
Don't go to sleep till you get home.
We've done some last minute grader work on some seasonal roads just to get ready for, we're putting a house up on Burger King there. We put a little product down on that, but yeah, like I say,
Okay.
I get there with the guys at 6 o'clock every day, making sure they're working hard. Everybody's showing up on time. And they're not getting stuff done, and feels like things are starting to come together. Appreciate all the help and support.
Well, we appreciate it, Kyle, it's a lot of good stuff happening.
So you guys gotta hear anything, see anything, or comments, you gotta let me know, because we're not perfect. It won't be for lack of effort.
So Mark Anthony, and he's the one that's building the house.
Yeah.
on Burger King. I've
Yep.
been talking to him, he called me and said, I can't believe how good a job they're doing keeping that road open.
Yeah,
for us."
good
I said,
guy, I
"Yeah."
talked to him, we're, like I said, I told him if you gotta, any resident.
So that's
Yep.
good.
Good.
All right, so I wanna move on.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yes, thank
Well,
you.
before Kyle runs away, so I'm gonna prime the pump right here. So the town of Homer owns 3 trailers, and 2 of them are basically junk. Kyle and I've been going over them and talking them, and I kinda grounded 2 of the trailers. They're not legal, they shouldn't be on the road, they don't have good brakes, Kyle inherited this mess. So he's getting us pricing on possibly 1, maybe 2 trailers. We're gonna look at 1 trailer that we may be able to refurbish. We have a 20-ton trailer, that's up to my shop. We're gonna look at what the cost to do brakes and stuff, the frame isn't too bad, but we're getting pricing from other people too, so we'll have a comparison for next month. We do have the money in the budget, we sold surplus equipment, $54,000, and I still have money that we hadn't spent, so we have about $90,000 that we could invest in a trailer, 1 or 2 trailers, but he's gotta have 2 trailers. I do not want these other trailers on the road. They're not legal, they're not safe, and I'm not gonna put the town of Homer in that kind of a jeopardy.
What do you use the trailers for?
Yeah, we have a large roller, we have 2 rollers, a large roller and a smaller roller. We have an excavator. And then we can haul, if we rent something, so that we rent sweepers in the spring, mow tractor. We haul stuff for the village sometimes here and there, but, the trailers, that one trailer's 30 years old. Like I say, kind of taken over at a certain point. This is kind of the last thing that is in need of.
Update.
And then the part availability, the trailer's 30 years old, can you even get parts for it? We're looking into.
That's what we're checking out to make sure.
It's just getting above the.
The other two trailers are so bad, when he was up there, I said, take my trailer. I loaned him one of my tilt beds to go to Syracuse and get the stuff, because I did not want our trailers going to Syracuse and stuff, so.
It's a little bit of a liability for the
A
town.
liability for the town of Homer, and it's no fault to Kyle, he was working with what he had, but we have to do something. We have the money, he's gonna get our pricing of what trailers he thinks he needs, and so that's coming for next month, so I'm just priming the pump, letting you guys know, we do have the money that we can afford to do it. We'll get them bought, and
It's a
they'll be
good
ready.
example of working together, because Mike's been putting his input in, and very helpful. Everybody has, you know. It's, works out good that way, so.
All right, so I just wanted to bring that out, thank you, Kyle, go home and get to bed, you look like you need some sleep.
You gotta get up and get louder.
I'm an old man now.
That's a good report.
Okay, so next on it was the approve our budget, but before we do that, we have Dwayne Reynolds from Route 90. I'm gonna bump him ahead. I don't want him to have to sit here all night. So Dwayne, if you wanna give us an update on the Route 90 cemetery, I don't know if that's the correct name, but that's what we classify.
Homer West Hill.
Homer West Hill, okay.
Yes. Our fiscal year runs from the 1st of October 1 year to the last day of September the following year. So we like to confuse the state when they're trying to figure out the burials for the year, because they're going on a calendar year. So, but with input from this body, we got our money working for us, got higher interest rates, and it worked out quite well this year. We had no full burials this year. And 4 cremation burials, sold 6 lots. Lots for $400 each, so that was $2,400. The cremation burials, 3 of them were for $250, which is our standard fee. Another one was $375. The family had made their own urn, which was 27 inches tall. And that had to be placed in an infant vault. So it actually got charged for the burial for an infant. That was $1,025 for those burials. Interest on all accounts, $2,290.45. And $650 in gifts. Our total income was $6,465.45. Expenditures, vandalism fee for burials last year. Our bonding was $187. Our liability insurance, $500. So the total expenditure is $697, giving us a net gain of $5,778.45 for this past fiscal year. Yeah, that's about it.
That's a big turnaround from 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes,
That's great, that's great.
yeah.
So any questions?
A copy for the town's files of our state filing.
Put that in.
How much room is left in the cemetery? I'm sure there's a limitation there at some point.
We have approximately 100 graves left,
Is that right?
that's all. We are completely, well, on two sides, we got state highway on one side, town road on another. The other two sides are farmland that has been put in a conservative agreement, which is forever agriculture. So we have no opportunity for expansion.
Got it.
We can only bury to the center line of a road, so it's. Yeah. So, yeah, it's, in some ways, it's better when we can have the cremation burials. We're not taking up the space and we're able to serve more people.
Any other questions? And I'll entertain a motion to receive and file Homer Westfield Cemetery Association's fiscal report.
Along with the New York State cemetery document. Is that a motion?
No, I don't want to make the motion. You can make the motion.
I will make that motion.
I will second that motion.
Second. Any other discussion on that? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Dwayne, thank you very much. You're welcome to stay, but you're welcome to go too. 'Cause I know how it is. We appreciate your yearly visit. I'm glad it's
Thank you for the invite this
okay.
year.
Till next year.
I'd be back.
All right, so now we're gonna move back to the preliminary budget. So I need a motion to adopt preliminary budget to the final approved budget. So I need a motion for that, and then we can go into some discussion.
I will make a motion to adopt the preliminary 2026 budget.
Second.
We have proposed resolution as well.
Okay, I'm sorry, why don't you read that, Dan?
Sure.
I forgot about that.
Resolution to adopt the 2026 proposed preliminary budget as the final town budget for 2026. Whereas the proposed budget for the year 2026 has been duly prepared by the supervisor and town board, a duly publicized public hearing was held on the 12th day of November 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Whereas at which time all persons desiring to be heard were heard. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to section 109 of the town law of the state of New York, the town board of the town of Homer hereby adopts the proposed preliminary budget as amended, altered, and revised as the final budget for the town of Homer for the year 2026.
What Caleb said.
Caleb, is that motion still the
That's
motion?
exactly what I said.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Who seconded? Kevin? So is there any discussion on the budget? Nothing's changed in the last month. We kept looking at numbers and stuff, and I think we produced, unfortunately, it's an increase, but a very responsible budget. Okay, so I'll call the question. Those in favor of accepting the 2026 budget as printed? Say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay, so we have ban the ban. It's a resolution in support of Congressman Nick Langworthy's Energy Choice Act, HR 3699S, 1945, and in opposition to government mandated natural gas bans. I don't really wanna read this whole thing, so I'm hoping you guys read it, to give you a synopsis, and there's two things that changed already. That this is a ban that is supposed to take effect January 1st, no new residential and small businesses up to 7 stories could have natural gas. Anything over 7 stories could still have natural gas, so that would ban on natural gas. So there are a lot of towns, counties are jumping onto this to try to get it overturned. I did read tonight, before I came, that they are gonna ban that. They're gonna ban the ban for a while, so it's gonna be stopped, is what I read tonight.
They're delaying.
What's that, they're gonna delay it, yes, yes. So I still would like us to approve this and just send it in to show support, because this is just a crazy, crazy ban. We don't have the electricity to offset this. It's crazy that they can even think that we could even begin to offset this. This is years away, you know, just as Victor said. I mean, it's coming, but it's not here for this year. I couldn't even get 200 more amps at my shop. It took 2 years to get that because they ain't got the power. How the heck are they gonna do all these homes?
Probably good for about 50 years of natural gas. You gotta look ahead, you gotta have a view, but you've got time.
Right, we got time. So I need a motion on that, if you guys are in agreement with it.
I'll make a motion to. Oh, are we having you sign? How are we doing this?
We'll just sign on to it, yeah, I could just sign it as representing the town board.
I'll make a motion for Supervisor Park to sign on to the resolution in support of Congressman Nick Langworthy's Energy Choice Act in opposition to government mandated natural gas bans in representation for the town of Homer.
I'll second it.
Second it. Any others?
Discussion, please.
Yep.
A couple of things. I did see this came out last month in September, but it came from a political party originally, okay? Where we had the Congress of the United States trying to supersede what happened in New York State. So I kept looking around to see what was going on. And I don't know that I personally want to enjoin the town to ban the ban with the federal government coming in and superseding with the state. In 2023, Brandon Williams was defeated by John Mannion, who was our current congressman, and we've not reached out to him. We've not done anything to work up the chain, and I don't know that, I really think that the whole town would want to be behind this, and here's why I think that. Not my personal feelings, of course, but last year's election, we had 1,675 people vote for Brandon Williams and 1,676 vote for John Mannion. So that tells me there's a pretty big divide on what we're doing and how we're doing it as far as in Congress. So my vote would probably be no on this as far as trying to trump, well, there you go, trying to do the federal government onto the state without turning around and going up to Mannion first, or at least having some public. I'm all for the town board sponsoring Mannion to come down here because he's going to vote for it. Let him change his vote. If Congress is going to do something nationally, he's going to have to vote on it. That's kind of where I'm thinking. I don't know that it's going to come through an executive order. So we're working within the framework we got. I hesitate to go out on the outside. That would be my concerns. I don't know that I can speak for the opinion and then join the town in to that motion. Me personally.
Other thoughts on that?
Nobody's come to me and said, I want you to do something about it. So, in 2019 is when all this happened. Nobody cared.
So I've had people come to me and say, you guys are gonna get on board with this. So I've had a number of people do that. So we got a motion and we got a second, so we do need to vote on it. So those in favor of banning the ban, say aye.
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 Nay.
Opposed, 1 nay. So the motion's carried. Okay. But I still think, Kevin, that we ought to have, we'll see what you set up a time as we come down.
I would highly encourage it. They do represent our district.
So after first of the year, let's get in touch with them and have them come down.
We need to do that.
Remind me, so we make sure that happens. Okay, so local law 3, you have that in your packet. That's local law number 3 of 2025 of the town of Homer. Local law adopting a moratorium on certain solar energy production and storage uses in the town of Homer. Once again, I do not want to read this. I hope you've all had it for over a month now, that you've read it, understand it. So I'll entertain a motion in a second.
Proposed resolution.
Okay, I'm sorry,
This
that's right,
one's a
Dan.
little-
I
yeah,
keep
that's
getting
all right.
ahead of you, Dan.
Oh, this one's a bit longer, unfortunately.
Okay.
Whereas the town of Homer has authorized the attorney for the town to draft a local law to impose moratorium on certain energy storage and production uses in the town of Homer. Whereas the proposed local law was prepared by the attorney and presented to the town board. Whereas the town of Homer, after careful study and consideration of the proposed local law, after review of comments and receipt of a recommendation of approval from county planning, rendered under the general municipal law, and taking consideration of public comments, including a public hearing held on October 8th and November 12th, 2025, has considered the local law for adoption. Whereas the town of Homer has undertaken an environmental review of the adoption of said local law and has determined that the proposed moratorium is a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, section 617.5C sub 36. And whereas the town board of the town of Homer has considered the local law's impact on the residents of the town of Homer and determined that it is in the best interest of the residents to enact a temporary moratorium on the permitting and development of certain energy storage and production uses within the town of Homer, so that the town may explore future zoning updates. And whereas the town board recognizes the pending solar development application of Scott Road Solar, Seaboard Solar for property located on Houghton Hill Road, and specifically exempt this application and development from the moratorium as an application predating said moratorium. Now therefore be it resolved that local law number 3 of 2025, entitled Local Law Adopting a Moratorium on Certain Energy Production and Storage Uses in the Town of Homer, is hereby adopted. So that's your proposed resolution. And we did not mention AES because AES already has a siting permit from the state.
So you someone move that resolution?
Go for it.
Nobody moves it, it dies, so
I'll move it. I'll make the motion.
you adopt this motion right here.
Yep, that resolution.
What he said,
Now you gotta read it again.
what he said.
No, we're not.
I said what he
You
said. What you said.
Okay, this resolution, so we have a second on it.
I'll second that.
Oh,
I can't do.
Why everybody shy tonight? What's going on here? Okay.
I haven't been shy. Discussion,
All right. Any we got a second. Any more discussion on this moratorium?
so it was brought up last couple of, I'm going to vote to approve it, for 6 months, okay? I am concerned about the power and the way that it's causing issues all over the place. I've been living with it for 20-some years. If you're gonna put in hundreds of acres of solar, okay, we really need to look at that. And I'm confident and hopeful that our planning board or somebody countywide will come up with something to do that. So it's an appropriate thing. What I don't wanna do is keep postponing so that only the big people come in, and then it doesn't have some attraction to a community. Victor, put one up, okay? Put one up.
I
Okay.
ordered it for my house.
I don't want
because
your
it's
house, I
gonna
want
lose
100
the
acres
ITC,
somewhere with you.
And I'm not sure if they can deliver on time, because the weather's been bad.
So anyways,
Use your influence.
according to the power and everything like that, I hope we come up with a solution for 6 months. I don't know we're ever gonna stop anything, we're not gonna be able to manage it. I vote aye.
And that's all we're looking to do, is to help manage it for protection of home. Any other discussion? Okay, so we'll vote. Those in favor of doing the moratorium, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Who's gonna look into the tax part of it?
We're going to. We're gonna get to that in just a minute.
Oh, you got more, okay.
We got more, we're not done yet. You know better than that. So now we have one for Spectrum or Charter. You would have a resolution for that, Dan?
The charter has a resolution.
Yeah, so before I get on in front of you again,
And please read it, because I'm not gonna, you didn't have to make anybody else read anything tonight.
All right. Resolution, the matter of granting a cable television franchise held by Spectrum Northeast LLC in the town of Homer, county of Cortland, New York. An application has been duly made to the board of the town of Homer, county of Cortland, New York by Spectrum Northeast LLC, an indirect subsidiary of Charter Communications, a limited liability company organized and existing in good standing under the laws of the state of Delaware, doing business at 6005 Fair Lakes Road, East Syracuse, New York, for the approval of a renewal agreement for Charter's cable television franchise. This should say for 10 years, I believe.
We don't know yet.
Okay, so that
10 or 15.
commencing with the date of approval by the Public Service Commission. The franchise renewal agreement would bring the franchise into conformity with certain provisions of the Federal Cable Communications Policy Act of 1984, as amended in certain court rulings. Public hearing was held in the town of Homer, New York on November 12th, 2025, and notice of hearing was published in the Cortland Standard on November 6th, 2025. Now therefore, the Board of the Town of Homer finds that Spectrum Northeast LLC has substantially complied with the material terms and conditions of its existing franchise and with applicable law, and Spectrum Northeast LLC has the financial, legal, and technical ability to provide these services, facilities, and equipment as set forth in its proposal attached. Spectrum Northeast LLC can reasonably meet the future cable-related community needs and interests, taking into account the cost of meeting such needs and interests. Be it further resolved that the board of the town of Homer hereby grants the cable television franchise Spectrum Northeast LLC and the town of Homer for a number of years to be determined, commencing with the date of approval by Public Service Commission and expiring in a number of years to be determined.
So somebody adopt the motion and we'll get a second and we'll go into discussion.
I will make a motion to adopt the resolution with Spectrum Northeast LLC.
Second on that. Barry, I'll second.
I'll second that.
You only got another month to
Thanks, Barry.
Jeez, I can do anything I want.
That's right. All right, discussion. So go ahead, Kevin. I'll let you. You've done some research on it with us.
Okay, so I actually served on this committee for about 5 years early on. I do remember some of the original documents which I pulled out and went through. So prior to a meeting and after the meeting with the Charter Communications representative, I pulled out the old franchise and the new one and kind of did a side by side. And a lot of the sticking points that we were worrying about last time are no longer carried forward. Some notable things that I did find that I do want to bring up. This franchise is a non-exclusive franchise. That means if any other cable company wants to come into the town of Homer, all right, as long as we offer them something equal to this, okay, we can have competition. That was a biggie for me. And it just seemed to transfer over. If we make other agreements with cable companies and they're more lucrative or less stringent or whatever, then this franchise allows for the charter group to renegotiate and go down to whatever situations we may have allowed any other competitors. Okay, that's one of the things that got carried forward. The franchise standard installation for residences and buildings are 150 feet from the point of connection. That seems to be typical. No one's ever really said too much to me, unless Vern King or whoever lives on the top of the hill across from me, Ken Newman, okay, wants cable, he's going to pay for it. But for the most part, that seems to be a typical standard language. The term bothered me in that 15 years, I don't like to do anything for 15 years, especially enjoying a town far long after I'll probably be here. On the phone, we did negotiate a 10-year with these guys. A 5-year probably didn't do so good because it's going to take a couple years to get everything through the Public Service Commission because there's a whole set of FCC, New York State, and all sorts of stuff that's got to happen. So there's a lot of boondoggle on that. So I wasn't too concerned with that. They wanted 15 years. We wanted 10. They said if we went 15 years, they'd give us free cable for our government installation. Cable means TV, not internet, not broadband, not anything of the nature. It's what I would call channels 2 through 13, as I remember, okay, and some of the other channels. Because we are a essential building and we're gonna be all powered up, that was, one concession that we got to see if we do the 15 years. Given the fact that in all the years we've been here, no one's really ever had TV anywhere, I'm not sure that that's a really big negotiating thing, so I have no recommendation whether you wanna do a 10-year or you wanna do a 15-year with the free cable. I'm kind of ambivalent about the whole thing, so whatever the board wants, I would make that motion to do that.
So the caveat going with this, we did a Zoom meeting about a week ago, so ago. The last agreement was signed, Bill Wright was the chairman, so that was about 24 years ago. So it's actually been an outdated agreement, but they've honored it. They're giving us the maximum amount. So we get about $32,000 a year in royalties from this.
You know, I should have brought that up, forgot about the financial component. That's actually stayed the same, It's been
Right, they're
5%
giving us the maximum.
consistent forever.
And they could have pulled out of it because we didn't have a signed agreement. Somehow this got shuffled down the road and nobody's ever picked it back up. So anyways, but they're saying that if we don't sign this now, that 32,000 will probably go away. Because the new FCC, it's the FCC, right, Kevin?
Yes.
Their new requirements. So they're trying to get every community to get signed back up on it. I personally don't see any downsides to it because it basically gives them, they still have to consult with our town highway department on doing the right of way. So that's where they put it in, is our road right of ways, where they put the cables. They have to maintain it and they still have to get permission. So it's not like they can just say, we're going down this road and we'll do whatever we want. They have to work with our town highway superintendent to make sure it's done properly and to his specifications.
When does this have to be? When do they want this?
Now, after us.
I do have one other topic of discussion on this.
Okay.
And we just got this. We haven't seen this before, right? Okay, I do need a chance.
Well, no, we had it out last month.
This one? Okay. Because I looked through it and I'm still looking, there's a section I want to look through, or maybe you can help me with this. We do have one small issue with the utility companies right now. Of course, it's farming that has to deal with this. Is there any chance we can check and just make sure, because this has become a bigger issue now, when these guys are hanging their utility lines on the electric poles, they legally have to hang their utility wires so many feet below the electric wires. And if the electric wires are too low, then they're hanging them even lower, even though legally they're supposed to be 15 feet above ground. We're hitting them with our equipment when we go in, and normally, and we call every time that happens, we call and let them know. And normally it's not a big deal, they just come out and fix it and try to raise it up, but they're now all, the utility companies are in a fight with the electric companies about whose responsibility it is to raise the pole up when the pole is not high enough. And we did just have an incident 2 weeks ago, and I forgot about all this until right now, so I apologize, but where my brother accidentally cut a wire going into a field because the utility lines were hanging 10 feet down below, and he's called numerous times Verizon and Spectrum, and they didn't do anything about it. And Verizon actually tried to have my brother arrested for damage of property. So, I've never seen it get so extreme as that, but can we just make sure that somehow, some way in this, and I apologize, I didn't think about it or pay more attention to it, that they're going to follow the legal law of raising the wires up. This is an ag community, so we're not the only ones that.
They're in our town right away, and we'll convey that to Kyle. As the highway superintendent, he has a legal authority to stop them or make sure that they do follow guidelines.
So if there are wires that are, because we've gotten nowhere calling them to tell them, but if the utility wires are hanging down, preventing us from entering our field.
Let's notify Kyle. I'll talk to Kyle, and then he'll get a hold of that, because that's his stature and law. He has a legal authority.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right, great. I'm glad this has gotten brought up.
I think
Okay.
it does say that they have to follow all rules, regulations, and codes.
Right, federal and state.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta be 13.6 minimum.
Right. 13.6 would be,
I think it's 13.6 or 14, but they come down to like 8 or 10 sometimes.
so are they coming down that far because the pole is not high enough?
Yeah.
In the primary.
So the problem, there's probably a dozen different fields where this is a problem, not all in Homer, but one specifically, and the one where we had issue is, the problem is the electric pole itself
It's not high.
is not high enough, but the electric wire, the National Grid or whoever, they have priority. Their wires are first, but the utility wires have to be, I think, 3 feet. I have
I
a
thought
map.
it used to be 4 feet, but.
I don't know, I've got a map, I can tell you. I didn't think about it, I would have brought it up. But they have to be so far apart. So what happens is when the pole is too short, because they're old poles, they haven't been, or they were put up a long time ago, and it was before we had cable lines that were hung. I mean, the right thing to do is these guys should be burying them, really. They should be burying them to be
So,
not having this issue. But when they have an issue where it's too low, and none of them are in legal code, the utility companies fight with the electric companies over whose responsibility it is to replace the poles, because it's very expensive to go in and put new poles up. And so they just do nothing. They wait for us to slice it with their equipment on accident.
well, here, this agreement would cover that, and the superintendent of highways does have the authority to regulate that. at
That's
30.
awesome. I didn't realize that. So
But the other thing is that if in your situation, these are public poles, public right-of-way poles, the electric company, okay, can put one up, but the cable company can put one pretty darn close to it and call it their own pole as well. So it's not one pole.
they don't. That was my point.
But-
They
but
don't.
they don't,
When you
but they
call them
could
and tell them it's a
drop
problem, they
one.
don't.
Right, so they could drop a pole, so they meet their 15, or their 13.6, not bothering, National Grid or dealing with the fight. So I do believe that this agreement has the authority to enforce.
Yeah, but I think we gotta understand too, if I remember correctly, National Grid, whoever owns the poles, is under no obligation to raise their poles to accommodate
Correct.
wires. They put those poles in for their use. Out of the goodness of their heart, to either sell them a space on it or just let them put it on it. Because I remember when I was county chairman, we went through that on another issue, and that's the way it came out then. They are under no obligation to let anybody put anything on their poles unless, out of the goodness of their heart, they let them.
But we can make Spectrum put a pole up of their own.
Right, to meet the certain requirements.
Requirements.
And that's what this agreement we'll make sure Kyle gets onto it.
Awesome. In that case, I'm all for it.
Okay. Any other discussion? Good discussion, though. It's good to know that there's issues.
Can I do a quick?
Yes.
to the floor? Thank you, sir. So, it took me a while to learn it, but it made a big difference when I learned it. Here's the internet, what you're talking about now. Everybody's got to have the internet to do anything you want to do. Separate is the cable television channels that Spectrum sells, and third are the streaming channels, YouTube TV, Netflix, Sling, etc. The price of Spectrum's cable TV channels is completely and totally outrageous. And there's this thing called cutting the cord, where you give up on that and just use the streaming bundles. Everybody should know, it's so obvious, as soon as you learn that this is so much better, you cancel Spectrum the next day. But if you drive past their office, there's people there buying their package all the time. Somebody has to find a way to tell the world that this is a complete ripoff. Legal, but a ripoff. Think about how to do it.
Any other discussion?
Somebody make a motion to amend, whether you want 15 or 10.
What do you want, Kevin?
I'm, either or, it doesn't matter to me. I'll leave it for the board to decide. But I will amend.
Just for edification, the village is going 15. We did not do nearly the legwork that Kevin is.
And I did mention, thank you, and they didn't do cable, there's no cable in this, not that I don't even think it matters, to be honest with you. It's just, was a negotiating point.
But still the 15-year agreement, and that'll keep us on the same as the village. There's no advantage to going to 10 or 15 years. We're getting the maximum amount by law, so. We've been over 24 years, I don't know, probably 30 years with them.
The village reasoning was much like Victor was saying, we don't even know if cable as we know it is gonna be here in 15 years, so, or 10 years. So we'll take the money and run.
Did you get the maximum amount too?
Same amount as.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go to 15 years, because I was the one that threw out the 10-year, but after more hearing everybody and seeing what's going on, I think then we don't have to worry about it for the next 15
So I'll
years.
amend my motion to 15 years.
Make your motion to 15. Okay. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And on behalf of the village, I appreciate that, because if something comes up too, that will remind us as well.
So next one on the list is I've got on here, we talked about this a month or two ago. So I'll make this motion. No part-time employee will have health insurance after the year 2026. So we got one or two people that are part-time that are on health insurance right now, and that will be dropped after 2026. It'll be the last year that they're on it. Only full-time employees. Health insurance at one time when this program all came about was affordable. It is not affordable today. A family plan is $30,000, $29,000. We can't continue to do this for part-time employees. We talked about it, we knew this was coming, so I want to make it official so we can get it in our handbook. So I'm making the motion, no part-time employees will get health insurance or HSA account.
I'll second that.
Second that. Any discussion on that? So we're giving everybody a year so they can phase out of it. Not being unreasonable here, so we got to budget it in for this year, but next year, that needs to go away. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Clerks. You're up.
So Donna's still out for 4 more weeks. She just put another notice in, so we keep checking on her, making sure she's okay. But we did call Karen Snyder just to have her come in 1 day a week for about 4 hours just to help us work through our retention schedule, and the highway guys came in and took all of our boxes upstairs, so that feels good to get everything out of the office. They also, the highway guys today, they installed like strips to go up and down the attic stairs just for safety, with like a sandy strip for more slip.
We don't want our police department slipping on our stairs.
So that was nice to get that all done. And then Lindsay, she's been here for what now? A month?
1 month?
Almost
Oh
a
my
month.
goodness. Yeah, I know.
So she's doing an incredible job. She's a very quick learner and picked up everything very quickly. So it's nice to have you in the office, and I appreciate all of your work.
Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you. Are you enjoying your new commute?
Yeah, oh, yeah, very much so. 2 roads. Boop, boop.
Yeah. And do you have if you have anything to add, Lindsay? But that's pretty much, we're getting ready for tax season too.
Yeah. No, it's been great. Onboarding has been fantastic. Brooke's been fantastic with training me. So
She's picking it up all really quick. I had to leave her for 2 days, but she did great while I wasn't there.
We gave Brooke 2 days off so she could enjoy her family wedding she was organizing. So she has been a very busy lady
weeks.
here with family, without any help for a long time. And Lindsay came on, helped training her. Lindsay picked it up for 2 days, so much appreciated, Brooke.
Yeah.
So the biggest news, now she didn't mention it, we went live today
yes.
with our website. Finally. So we got a connection link, but it's gonna take, and I'm gonna let you explain it. Or can't you?
So basically, we're live officially, but we have to work on routing from our current website to the new one. So there's a couple things we have to still. So you have to go through, if you go to our current website, and then you can go to our new website, but it's not rerouted yet. There's some things that we have to work on, some pictures and uploading some information and documents still. But
Something you can do yourself? Or
yeah, so Frank's been kind of training us, and so Lindsay and I are hoping this next couple weeks to just hit kind of update, and then we'll be able to upload everything ourselves. So that'll be.
So she sent you the link on your email, so you can look at that link. We're gonna get that link out there. So it's because we have to change to .gov,
Yeah, so it'll be townofhomerny.gov.
and right now we're .org.
Yeah.
Right, correct.
Yeah, without the NY.
Right.
So everyone's email addresses will change.
So they will be changing.
First of the
That's
year,
what I'm
yeah.
working with
Great.
everybody to try to get everything
Used to
done.
mine.
So we've gone live. It's not perfect yet, but by the first of the year, that thing's gonna be
It's really cool. I looked at it.
running smooth. And Sarah has been helping with the Facebook, getting a Facebook account, so we can do a better job with communicating with the public.
Yes.
I'm so excited about that because I can see so many uses for it, just communicating from what we're doing here and getting that on there. So it's much appreciated hard work on the girls here. It's been a 2-year, ever since I came on board as supervisor, that's been one of the things that I've been pushing to get done. Good things take time because there's so many things going on here. So it is happening. Frank's gonna come in next month and explain it to it. I'd like everybody to meet him. He's done a fantastic job for us. And then you can ask questions, but start looking at our website. So we're gonna start loading it as soon as we get, the .gov figured out. We're working with our IT people on that, so hopefully that'll be set up in the next week or so. And then by the first of the year, we gotta have all new emails because it's the law. We should have had them sooner, but they're giving us some grace. We gotta have .gov on all our emails, so that'll be changing. And I said, let's hold off till after the elections because I knew Barry was retiring. And so that way we would just set everybody up at one time and then we'll be moving forward.
And that'll
from
just
there.
transfer. It won't be like you have to go back to your old, I'm trying to get computer outlet to.
You won't lose your emails.
Yeah, you won't lose it. He'll just transfer it
Yeah.
over. So,
So we're getting there and, it's much appreciated, all the hard work. Lindsay's been a great addition. Like I said, it's just, people come in here, there's so many people that come in through our office here. It's just amazing how many people. So anything else?
no, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so the lower level, I'll give you some updates on that. We got, we're a little behind schedule. I got a meeting with the contractors next week to see what we can do to get back on schedule, but we did have a vault. There's 2 vaults downstairs and one was like Fort Knox. It was about 1.5 feet thick. That took them a lot longer to get through. That got removed. Then they started on they call it the village vault. Of course, with the village and everything they do, there was micolite in it, which from micolite is considered an asbestos in New York State only. No other state recognizes it that way. Brought the whole project to a screeching halt. So we had to get a consultant or we had to get an engineer in. They studied it, said, yup, and then we had to pay extra, so we had to get that. They had to build tent city down there again, air control and everything, so we got that out. That's down. Now they're saw cutting the floor. In the meantime, though, they shut off the heat. So some of the mayor's office was freezing, Dan's office was freezing, the girls next door, I told them I was gonna bring them in candles, but they didn't like that. I talked to our contractors and nobody just kept pointing fingers. They said, okay. I went down there, figured it out, we got heat. So we got heat back. So, but we're gonna have a meeting to see what we gotta do to get back on track. There's just been a lot of moving parts. They're gonna be pouring concrete for our generator. We got a new service coming in. So we're still moving forward. A lot of approvals been done for bulletproof glass and different things. So we're getting the approvals done. There's gonna be approval coming up for the colored floors and stuff. So we gotta do that and then eventually, the paint. So I'm staying on top of it, making sure we're pushing everybody. I want these submittals in and turned around. Unfortunately, our engineer, I gotta push him to keep everything on track. And I don't think I should have to do that, but I have to. So anyway, we're gonna get this project done. So that's where we're on that. So we are moving along a little bit, like I said, a little bit behind schedule, but we'll see if we can make it up. And that was mainly due to the asbestos, but we got that out. And that's done. So hopefully now we're gonna have clear sailing moving forward. We do have to make decisions on the fly. For whatever reason, there's in the back, if you remember downstairs, there's 2 toilets in the end of if anybody's ever been down there. Why he had 2 toilets there, and so we told him we want 1 toilet. They don't need 2 toilets there. The other's gonna be a storage room. That was in the original plan. Somehow he changed it, but I picked up on it. We changed the back. We don't need 2 toilets there because we're gonna have more toilets down there than what we need. We're gonna have 2 new ones for the community center side. And even the police, if they have an overflow of civilians or whatever, those bathrooms are available. The police department's gonna have their locker room, bathrooms, plus we'll have that other bathroom there. So there's plenty of bathrooms downstairs where we don't need 2 at that end. So we made that decision to just keep the project moving forward. Any questions on that? Okay. So now we're gonna talk about, and this has to do with ASC, retainer agreement for legal services for the attorney, for the town. So Dan, I'm gonna let you explain it.
Yeah, so over the last couple of weeks, we've had conversations with an attorney out of Rochester. It's Matt Eldred from Carter Seacrest. He has a significant amount of experience with renewable projects and energy projects in general. And we've had these conversations with the town of Portlandville and the town of Solon at the table with the town of Homer. And we are asking the board to retain Matthew Eldred for limited legal services on the AES solar project. Cortlandville, I've been told, is going to do the same at their next meeting. I think it's next week. And I believe Solon is also doing the same. He's got a lot of experience with the host community agreements and pilot negotiation on these large ORES projects. So I think he would be an invaluable resource. We're also going to have him negotiate with AES for an escrow for his legal services as well. We do have a budget line that we budget every year for contractual legal services that we can utilize if we need to get things started, but I think it's important that we bring him on.
We did an interview with him. He's very knowledgeable. I was very impressed with him. In the past, when this started, there's been so many syllables that Cortlandville, Homer, and Solon, we went together, and they gave us, at that time, I think it was $90,000.
Yeah.
So there was a pool of $90,000 that we put it all in one pool, and we all pulled out of that to cover our legal and environmental costs. And but that was 5, 6, 7 years ago. So now everything has changed. So we got to negotiate a bigger escrow account with this company to help pay for that, because we also going to need to hire an environmental engineer to go forward with that. So that we're going to talk about that more next month. But Cortlandville, so the way we talked about divvying this up, so the shares, Cortlandville, the solar part is 40, they get 47% of the solar in their township, where Homer's gonna have 40, Solon's gonna have 13. So that's how the split will be from the escrow account. So if money has to be spent at Cortlandville and it doesn't affect Homer and stuff, they'll have up to 47%. But normally, if whatever municipality has a problem, it affects all the municipalities. So we're gonna pull it. So I know I've already talked to the Cortlandville supervisor, Greg Leach, and we're on board with that. Solon, I talked to Corey down in Solon. He's on board with it, but they've got to get their town boards to vote on it also. Regardless, we need to hire this guy. If they don't want to go in on it, but I know Cortlandville does, so that's probably a no-brainer. I don't know where Solon's going to stand, because Corey is on his way out. He's leaving the board. Solon's always been a little bit of a independent, a little bit different thinking, and not in a bad way. So I know Cortlandville wants to do it. We need to do it also. This is a great lawyer that represents. He's used to working with these type of companies. He's already working for a couple other towns. Lansing, I think it is.
Yeah, he represents Lansing and Groton with, I believe, their AES project.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's larger than this one, if I understood it right.
It is, yep. And he has worked with the attorney who represents AES on other projects. So he understands how they operate.
So what I'm looking for is approval to enter into an agreement with, what's his name?
To retain Matthew Eldred, Esquire, from Carter Seacrest.
So we have a resolution here, the Town of Homer resolution to retain Matthew Eldred, Esquire, Carter Seacrest, for limited legal services on AES solar project. Whereas the town board of the Town of Homer requires legal assistance related to the AES solar project. And whereas Matthew Eldred, Esquire, is qualified to provide such services. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board hereby retains Matthew Eldred, Esquire, on a limited scope retainer to provide legal services related to the AES solar project, and be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute a retainer agreement consistent with this resolution adopted on this 12th day of November 2025 by the town board of the town of Homer. So I'd like somebody to make that to adopt that resolution and second it, if you would.
Do we have any numbers with it, or how does that work, Dan?
Yeah, he sent over his proposed letter of engagement. There were numbers in it. His associate, I think, was $3.25 per hour, and he is like $400 per hour, I believe it was.
And are we making a motion to spend up to, or what, I guess I don't understand.
There's no maximum. It's an hourly, so whatever he needs to do or whatever he's asked to do.
We're gonna keep it, we have right now, we have about $6,800 in the budget for this type of service. But we may have to tap into that a little bit, but we won't exceed that, but we will look at to getting an escrow. Right now, they've offered us an escrow of $50,000.
$50,000 for the on-site monitor, but we're asking Matt, once we bring him on, to negotiate that higher, and to also cover legal.
So this is coming out of the escrow fund, not the town's accounts.
It may start out up to $6,800 out of the town account till we get to the escrow negotiated. We need somebody with some horsepower to help negotiate the escrow. It's beyond what our scope that we can do.
Understood, but do we ask for a top end, no more than 6,800, or reimbursement from the escrows? How do you? Because right now this doesn't have any. It's open ended to me.
Yeah, I mean, you could always, I guess, stop or ask the legal services be ceased, at any point. You could put, if it makes the board more comfortable with the arrangement, you could authorize up to the $6,800 until the
thing comes in.
Until an escrow account is established.
Or you could determine at that time if you need to continue the service or not. Yeah, either way.
I would be happy with that.
I mean, that's it.
Happy enough to make a motion?
You make it, Barry.
I'll make the motion. And once again, with a financial limitation of 68, is that correct?
68 till an escrow agreement is reached.
I was gonna say, that's next week, probably.
Hopefully not.
Right, but that's, again, that's gonna be divided 3 ways, so, I mean, it'll go further, because whatever he's working on, it'll be divided between Cortlandville.
Yeah, so you're only gonna pay 40% of each billable, unless there's something specific to Homer that is irrelevant to the other agreement.
But the first thing right out of the gate, we need to get this escrow.
Right, but the account will be made whole once the escrow is set up and everything. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
I'll second that for Barry.
Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carries.
Is this one for,
Yeah, I've got the same motion. This one's a little simpler though.
Which one?
I've got a resolution that will authorize myself as the town attorney for the town of Homer to bill to the solar escrow, which we've already established with Seaboard Solar, so that I don't have to bill out of my retainer with the town. But it's the same resolution. We've got $20,000 in escrow for legal and engineering review.
And we've already got that, they've already, we negotiated that, they sent us the check, we started a special escrow account, it's in that account. And that'll be what Dan can bill when he's working on that account.
So I track hours specifically for the Seaboard Solar project, so that doesn't get billed to the town.
That way it doesn't take our town.
Yeah, I would exceed my retainer.
Yeah. So we just need a motion to allow Dan to be able to pull money out of the escrow account. So he'll submit us a bill, we'll write it, we'll have, we had escrow accounts not mingled with our other accounts, because we're totally responsible for that, accountable for it.
And this is the one we're gonna set up, correct? The escrow account.
It's already set up in
Yeah,
place.
that's the one that we have already.
So we have it already, we approved that,
Yeah.
we set it up, we got the check, the money's in there, I can't expend the money. You guys say it's okay, and the only one right now will be Dan, and if we're gonna pay somebody else, we'll get approval on that, but right now, it's for Dan.
So we're making a motion to approve the resolution to allow Dan to bill.
Yeah, basically it's so retain me
to retain you as,
to provide limited legal services on the Seaboard Solar Project.
I make that motion.
Second.
There you go.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. So next month, we're gonna talk about an environmental. They just sent something over tonight. Dan hasn't had a chance to read it. I haven't had a chance to look at it. Farmville's gotta look at it, so we gotta do a little more talking on that. That's quite a hefty bill there. So the agreement AES. So we did that one. So Dan, you have anything else you wanna update us on?
No, I mean, we've covered it with our other items on the agenda. We do have a busy planning board meeting coming up, but it's all simple items. So everything's moving along.
Okay. So the signs are here now for our parking lot that we're putting up, that we approved earlier, for snow plowing. Just stating when they can park, so there'll be no parking from midnight to 7 AM for snow plowing. So we just received them, we're gonna drill them out in the tile and get them mounted. We're gonna go on our poles that are out there already. Other than that, I think we're pretty good. Anything you wanna comment on, Pat? So, I think we're moving along. We've got a lot going on. So next month will be our ending up the year. Be Barry's last meeting. The only thing I haven't scheduled yet, I want to have an open house at the Hollywood Garage. I gotta be honest, I've been overwhelmed this month and I haven't had a chance to even put much mind on it today, but we'll get something scheduled. So does anybody have anything you guys wanna? So we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay,
Aye.
we're done, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.